We're back. Second time's the charm. I'm here with KG, the founder of PulseChain's very own internet money wallet. If you don't already have it, internetmoney.io. It's bringing the next couple of millions of users onto the PulseChain network. It's got epic new features that he's going to tell you all about, such as the ability to buy PLS in the app. I mean, what more do you need? So there's a lot of good wallets out there, but this is the first PulseChain-centric wallet that's also multi-chain. And here's the founder. Why don't you introduce yourself for everybody?
Crypto Coffee, good to see you. Always good to be on with you. Yes, I'm KG, founder of the Internet Money Wallet, crypto nerd, crypto expert, crypto enthusiast, all the beautiful things. I love building and learning about crypto. It's what I do. It's who I am.
Yeah. So you've been around for a long time, and doing a wallet, it's not an easy thing. But Internet Money has been a pretty viable alternative to MetaMask, which, as we know, is bending the knee for the World Economic Forum bug eater overlords. And they cannot be trusted. First of all, they don't support PulseChain. They've done shady things in the past. They've delisted Hex. We don't know how much data they're collecting about everybody. For all we know, they're just reporting your IP address straight to the authorities or whoever. They probably wouldn't hesitate to throw you under the bus if they had to. JP Morgan is also the main provider or owner. JP Morgan has a big ownership stake in Infura, which are the node providers that MetaMask defaults you to. So if you like privacy and if you like the reason crypto is invented, there's alternatives like Rabby or Internet Money that totally they get rid of all that stuff.
You know, the JP Morgan Chase, not just Infura, but Consensus, so MetaMask itself.
Yeah. So they own the parent company that created MetaMask, I should say.
Exactly.
Good clarification. Dude,
Exactly.
What do you think about all this PulseChain, Richard Hart universe shenanigans? Pumped out tires, meme coin mania. What do you think?
I mean, for the chain's volume, I mean, we almost hit 100 million in volume, which is about 5x what our top days in volume have been recently. So that's cool. I know for Internet Money Wallet users, if you're a time holder, we've had mind-boggling payouts the last several days for dividends because people are really swapping in the wallet. They love getting those great rates. So time holders are getting paid because of that. And I think there's obviously a divide in the community over the issue, and I can actually see validity on both sides. So I don't really have a side in this one, but I can see both sides. So it's a very interesting time in the community.
I think it's pretty simple, right? If you don't want to gamble, don't do it. But clearly, 90% of crypto people do. And here we are telling people long-term holding, delay gratification, 90% core if you want to go play, if you must, right? I bought a bag of Richard Hart's meme coin, or alleged meme coin, most token for the culture. I believe that it was the first meme deployed on pumped out tires, and may or may not be Richard's very own meme coin. Who knows? That the conspiracy theories will be unraveling. Just like, look, if you want to talk PDI conspiracies, let's talk most token conspiracies, huh? That one's pretty easy to figure out. Oh, anonymous wallet funded this token. The very first deployer that was the only person that knew about pumped out tires before Richard Hart announced it. I'm just guessing. There's no proof of anything. But like you said, the volume just on the weekend, right? We know weekends are typically low volume anyway, but we've been averaging, it's been pretty depressing times, maybe 20 to $30 million in volume in PulseX a day. But today we're at 80 million, which is about double or triple our average day. And mind you, pumped out tires has only been on for 48 hours, maybe not even, like 44 hours. So, I mean, if we can get the degens from Solana to flock over here and ramp up the buy and burn on PulseX and ramp up the PLS burning on pump tires, this is clearly the metrics are going up basically overnight. And it even looks like the prices of the core coins are up 7 or 8% across the board today. So there's a little bit of a shock moment, and everybody had this adjustment period. But the thing about hexagons, pulsicans is we're adaptable, right? We can roll with the punches. Of course, there's going to be an adjustment period, but we're resilient and we've seen it all. And I think people are waking up to the fact that this is a marketing tool Retail likes to do degenerate stuff. So let them do it in your playground. So that's the topic of the last 24 hours. It's just such a big bomb drop that I feel like we had to address it. But yeah, I just checked out the PulseX volume and it looked, like I just said, $80 million on the day. We'll see what the next couple of weeks bring. We'll see if the Solana boys might want to try their hand at PulseChain. Maybe after they lose some money, maybe they'll realize, oh, there's some core tokens as well. You can hold them a little longer term. But yeah, as far as wallets go, if you're new to crypto, you don't already have a wallet. One thing I like about internet money is you don't hold any users' data at all.
Correct.
True.
0.
And that's because like the best way to protect someone's data is not to have it in the first place. I love that whole motto that you abide by, because it's how everything should be, right? But everyone just wants to sell the data and they don't care, except for you guys are quite the anomaly. So why don't you tell us, what other new features are in the wallet as of lately?
So yes, you're absolutely correct. As far as not collecting data, it's both a philosophical point and a compliance point, right? Because we are an American company, we are American builders. And so it's actually been pretty bullish for us with all the new administration being very pro-American crypto innovation. That's been like, yeah, okay, we made the right decision doubling down there. But not collecting data, it's a choice, right? Some people, they don't care about that. But for the people that do care about that, they don't really have options. And even if you don't care about it, it's an ancillary benefit you get for using the wallet. So it's something we believe in. It's something we're always going to stand by. And it allows us to always be compliant. Hey, like you said, Coffee, hey, government comes knocking at our door. Oh, you want our users' information? Absolutely. Here it is. And there's nothing. It's like, so we get the best of both worlds. We get to comply with the government and the user's data is protected. There's no data breach that can happen with Internet Money Wallet. Sure, breach the data that doesn't exist. So it's really awesome, in that respect. But as far as new features that have come out that are really big, it's the Fiat on-ramp that you just spoke about. That is our biggest feature. We have some other stuff as well, but that really is the flagship feature that we've launched. And right now, in many countries around the world, including the United States, you can pull out your debit card, you can connect your bank account, you can even use Google Pay and Apple Pay to not only buy PulseChain directly, but 23 other blockchains as well. But I think for the PulseChain community, obviously, being able to buy Pulse directly is the big, hoorah. Yes, the limits are not super high. They're only $300 to $400 right now per transaction, but we're working with the providers to increase those. And if your country is not currently supported, we have more solutions and providers coming out soon. So, but at a net level, it's only a win because now we just have another option to bring dollars into the PulseChain ecosystem that is now on Android, iOS, and Chrome. You could do it right from within your wallet. You never have to leave.
Beautiful. You've got in-app swapping, swap any coin for any coin. You got some in-app bridging, I believe. You got multi-chains, Avalanche, Ethereum, all the EVMs.
Mm-hmm.
Any plans on adding Solana, or should they just come to us?
No, actually, kind of tying this back to your position on pump.fun and bringing over the Solana degens. I think there is what I wish I would have seen with the pump tires, my bad. The pump tires initiative is how crazy would it have been if that was coupled with a Solana to PulseChain bridge, right? If it was like, bam, here it is at the same time, So
Yeah.
To ultimately answer your question, yes, Solana is high on our priority list so we support all EVM chains, but Solana and Bitcoin are actually our two non-EVM chains that we have highest on our priority list. So I'm not going to say coming soon because I don't want to throw around that S word, but it is high on our priority list.
That's awesome. There's always new on-ramps every day. Sometimes we take a hit, sometimes we get delisted off an exchange, but we just keep going, right? PulseChain is the most persistent community in all of crypto. They don't give up. We've taken so many punches and we just get stronger every time. So you've got pulseln.com, right? If you can use your Cash app or Strike app, you can buy Bitcoin and buy Pulse directly. We've got like an Arbitrum bridge, a Binance Smart Chain bridge. You can even use what else? ChangeNow.io. Transform any coin, Dogecoin, XMR, Bitcoin. It's a multi-chain, cross-chain swap. So ChangeNow is a great. Internet Money is a new great one. So because it's in the app, you don't even need to like leave the application. But for bigger limits as well, we've got 0xcoast.com. My link is in the description below, gainpulsechain.com. That's for, 5 figures and over. Also, if you have 5 figures and over, you could just use the PulseChain bridge, but bridge.pulsechain.com. But I couldn't agree more with you. Pump Tires launched, and immediately the bridge was clogged because people are rushing in. So it works. We know it's working, but that bridge is just going to be the point of congestion. Exactly. And by the way, for people that don't know, it's the only main bridge that PulseChain has is the Ethereum to PulseChain bridge. You got some side bridges like SparkSwap or Pulse LN. You can do smaller limits on there. TokenSex.link. There's all kinds of different bridges like Binance Smart Chain and Arbitrum and stuff, like some layer 2s. But I would really love to see Orbiter or Wormhole or RocketX, the major bridges that lots of people use. I'd like to see them integrate PulseChain for their own sake, right? Imagine all the fees that these platforms could make. Like if Orbiter Finance just added PulseChain integration or Wormhole added PulseChain integration, I mean, who knows? Pump.tires might be the thing that triggers all these existing bridges to integrate PulseChain, because building a bridge is a hard thing. So I almost feel like it's best for all the existing bridge protocols to just add one more EVM chain. I mean, PulseChain, it's a clone of Ethereum, right? And after that happens, I could easily see in the next couple months a major bridge provider increasing the throughput or the capacity for people to get money on chain to PulseChain.
Yes. So to your cross-chain point, yeah, we also do have that cross-chain swapping in app, and it only supports EVM chains as of now. But so yeah, you can go to and from PulseChain to 26 other blockchains right now. But again, we want to add Bitcoin and Solana to that so people can do that right from within the app. But all these providers, the unfortunate thing is they have limits, right? The fiat limits, the cross-chain limits, there's all these limits which is so mind-boggling to me. But we're building relationships with our fiat on-ramp providers, partners, and our cross-chain partners. And the kickback is always the same. There's not enough use for them to justify increasing the limits. Now, that's not just us, right? Because like we use ChangeNow, we use Gardarian, but the thing is nobody in the ecosystem really has relationships with these entities. Internet Money does with ChangeNow, which is huge. Internet Money does with Gardarian, which is huge. We're actually building a relationship right now with Transact, which is, if you're familiar with Transact out there in the crypto space, they're one of the biggest. Yes. So they're not ready to go PulseChain just yet, but we are integrating them into the wallet. And of course, we're talking to them about PulseChain. So what needs to happen is, and of course, people are going to take this as, oh, KG's the founder, he's shilling his product. Yes, I am. But I'm also telling you the truth. If you use Internet Money, even if you're going to fiat on-ramp 100 times in a month, use Internet Money twice. Use it, because then we can take that information, we can take that volume back to the partners, and they are open to increasing it. But there's actually an investment and a maintenance investment on these entities to support PulseChain and maintain and grow on PulseChain. And they're only going to do that if it makes sense, if they can make money. So if we don't use these products and these partners, then it's never going to grow. It's never going to get better.
Exactly. I mean, even just as an example, I was talking to some of the people at there's a payment provider called, not Banxa. I've probably talked to all of them at this point, but
Banxa
Paybis. Yeah, Paybis was one of them. It's like $20,000 limits, pretty good globally, but one problem is they're not available in the USA right now due to the SEC BS. But another problem, term, something that's common with these providers is they'll be like, okay, the integration fee is like $50,000, but we'll waive that. We'll pay that. We'll refund that back to you once you reach over $1 million in total transaction volume. Because they want to just know, they don't want to waste money on a whole chain integration if they can't, be pretty reliable that there's actually people using this, because they make money on like charging 1 or 2% fees for every transaction. And 1% of $1 million, it's $100K. So you kind of pay for that initial integration fee, and then some. And that's typically one of the stipulations that these companies have.
We noticed that a lot too. Like, for example, by the way, good job and thank you for, I think you get underappreciated for actually making those connections. So keep that up.
Thanks, man.
One thing we've noticed for sure is exactly what you're saying. And also, like for Change Now, for example, outside of people actually putting volume through the Internet Money Wallet when using the cross chain swap, people can be liquidity providers for Change Now, where you can put up USDT and Pulse so that they actually increase the limits. But the thing is they want a lot of capital and there's no real incentive. So it's like the Pulse chain support is very limited right now. And yes, there's government FUD in the US and also internationally. And so it's up to us that believe in the chain to show these entities that, hey, it's okay that you don't like what's going on legally. There's money to be made because greed's going to win at the end of the day.
Yeah, they don't care if people are actually using it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like Coinbase, right? They list all kinds of trash on day one because they got VC insider deals. And then what happens to the price? Day one Coinbase listing, down 88%.
Yep.
We just saw it happen with Venice AI. We see it happen over and over again. And it's like, do we really want that? Do you really want to pay an extortion fee to Kraken? You want to pay them $2 million to get listed just so that and then provide them with your own tokens? No, we ideally would like to earn that spot and have them buy the tokens and say that it's just a smart business move for us to list on PulseChain because we know that's where the users are at. And really, if you look on chain now, PulseChain's a top 4 contender. If you look at the Dex Screener rankings, the only chains beating us, and I know Dex Screener uses a kind of a proprietary method of ranking. It's not only volume, it's like transaction. It's a whole mix of things. The only thing beating us besides Ethereum is Solana and Base right now today. So for on-chain metrics, PulseChain, it's really it's like the diamond in the rough that all these exchanges seem to be missing. And I think once, let's say we get some positive SEC news, maybe they take another look at it and realize, oh crap. Once they realize they have more to gain by listing us than they have to lose, they'll do it without, a bribe or, whatever the legal version of a bribe is that they call it, because that's what they're doing.
Integration
most projects. Yeah, integration fee.
No, I actually agree with you completely on that. I think that once the legal stuff dissipates, it's almost like there's no brand risk or anything or legal risk or compliant risk in supporting it. So that I think at this point, winning the SEC case is kind of paramount for us as a community. Whether or not we know it's whatever, it doesn't matter to us. It does matter to the industry, which ultimately matters.
Well, the SEC is giving a public press release tomorrow.
Oh,
publicly, February 4th. So they're going to talk about some of the changes they're making. We've also seen some articles come out about how the SEC now has to ask for approval to persecute innocent people. Like, oh, they didn't have approval before? What the fuck? I guess it was just, people could just do whatever they wanted. Now they have to ask their boss, and the commissioners of the SEC have to give the okay if you want to actually just go after people, which is nice. I mean, it's better than nothing. I'll take that. But everything we've seen from Trump's executive orders demanding that they have 30 more days to make a regulatory framework and 60 further days to enforce it. They've had 2 private door meetings under what's called Operation, Sunshine, the Sunshine Act.
Oh, I love that.
Which is ironic because the Sunshine Act so far has only been 2 private meetings with Trump and the SEC. But we're hoping that they shed some sunshine on some of the decisions that they're going to be making pretty soon, because it's the topics of those meetings. One of the most important topics that I noticed was discussing pending outstanding litigation, not only for PulseChain, but Coinbase, Ripple, Kraken, but most importantly, Richard Hart. Let's be honest here. So we can't wait to see what happens.
I like the sunlight act. A good friend of mine would say that sunlight is the best disinfectant.
And
So
don't you feel like that's kind of like where the world's at right now? It's like with this new presidency, it's just everything. Elon Musk is at the Treasury. Everyone's crying about it because they're going to get exposed. USAID is like crying that, oh well, if USAID stops getting funded, then how are we going to keep rebuilding all of the Ukrainian cities and infrastructure?
mm,
It's like maybe because the fucking war is going to stop. Oh
mm.
no, we can't stop the war because then we'll stop getting funding for repairing all the damages from the war. It's like they're complaining about not having a war anymore. Like, oh no, if you cut our funding, then that means that we can't rebuild anything. It's like, yeah, and these people are saying this on public TV and kind of exposing themselves.
Mm.
I think Elon made a pretty good deal with a lot of the federal employees, giving them 8 months severance to go find a new, better job.
Wow.
If I was a federal employee, if I was working at the DMV and I hated my life, I'd take 8 months severance to go start a new chapter.
Almost a whole year to figure yourself out while getting paid for it. You could be living a worse reality.
So I think it's a win-win. I think a lot of people that were scared of all the change might be realizing that, hey, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe the way things were going wasn't the best path to be on. So very excited for what the future is going to bring. The most recent little hiccup in the prices was due to this so-called trade war. Trump has used this card. I love how Trump has done this with Colombia, not wanting to accept the prisoners. Now he just did it with Canada and Mexico. Okay. He says, look, if you don't stop the fentanyl trafficking and the cartel gang violence, we're going to tariff you. Not even 10, what is it, 25% for Mexico and Canada. And, of course, all the hedge funds go and try to short everything and paint Trump as this bad guy that's going to cause this chaos. And not even one day later, Trudeau bends the knee, Mexico bends the knee. They're having calls with Trump. Trump makes a deal and says, look, we've extended. There's not going to be any tariffs for another 30 days. We have 30 days to discuss what we're going to do. Trudeau was like, yep, we're going to put 10,000 guys on the border. The Mexico lady was like, yep, we're going to put tons of troops on the border. We're going to start enforcing stuff. That's what happens when you have an actual leader in power. That's not just a puppet. That's actually looking out for the best of America. So nobody's a savior. Okay. No one's a saint. Nobody should be no one's a god, but I really like what I've seen so far.
Well, you show me the perfect man, I'll show you a liar. It's I can hear exactly what you're saying. It seems like at high levels, America is a business operation, and these other players out here are your business competitors and your business allies. And yeah, I mean, also there's a level of, we can have our opinions down here, and I'm sure some of them are valid, but they know so much more that's going on at the top, so much. And so I do feel personally also that I feel good about America since Trump has taken office. I kind of feel like America sort of feels like America, whereas prior to this, I also believe that at some level, to get to that level, you're in somebody's pocket or you're some kind of puppet in some way, shape, or form. You're probably corrupt in some way. You're not this innocent little lamb that got to the top. So I don't think anybody's perfect, but I think there could be better and worse. And so I think that we ended up in the better reality. And I mean, the dude has kept his word so far. And I think that's also important. I mean, he literally pardoned Ross Ulbricht on day one. He said that and he did it. And that's kind of crazy if you really think about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just one little micro niche that he kept his word to. Like, the rest of the world wouldn't have cared if he didn't pardon Russ Ulbricht, but he did. That's awesome. So I feel good about it too.
Yeah, that was one that was like that was the one for the libertarians, right? He's a
Yes.
political martyr almost, And I think if he did deserve any time, I think he's probably done the time already. If he did, I don't know. I'm not here to make judgment on that, but he did what he said he was going to do. That's what your point was. He's so far followed through on things, and it's been happening so quickly. When you realize that he got elected 13 days ago,
That's great.
My only fear is like, don't let yourself get psyoped into violence. Okay, whether you're on the right or especially if you're on the left and you're upset with the status quo or with the way things are, do not let yourself get tricked into some kind of violence because you're a pawn, right? Everyone's being played by
Yes.
the deep state to try to incite some kind of violence. We have way more in common than we have difference, and our differences can usually just be settled by, talking and not so much craziness. So we'll see. Who knows what's going to be next? Fake alien invasion. I'm ready for it. But we're gonna be here gambling on our crypto internet money.
Dude, things are so internet money. Things are so crazy right now, dude. Like, even from the perspective of just like weird stuff happening with the Air Force, and all of a sudden a plane just falls out of the sky and does a huge falls out of the sky like a kamikaze pilot into Philadelphia, blows up like a missile, and then the next day Trump tweets, "Oh, hey, we just killed these guys." It's like, any correlation? I don't know. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but like you said, sometimes there's easy lines to draw. So things are crazy right now.
I don't know about the Philadelphia. That was a smaller plane, right? That wasn't like a passenger plane.
Yeah, apparently it was a small Learjet, and if you watch the video, I mean, it's maybe something mechanical happened. Cannot rule it wasn't there, but it wasn't like, oh, fell out of the sky. It literally was going like this.
Yeah, torpedoed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
I don't know, man. Of course, our brains want to go to conspiracy to make it make sense. I think there is also just pilots having a bad day, or you chose a bad pilot. I mean, it is weird that there were 2 in a row. Let's hope that
and then
news.
Trump responds publicly that, hey, we just went after these guys, whoever these guys are, and blew them up. Like, okay.
Well, I thought he had been talking about going after the ISIS guys for a while before that.
Maybe he had, but it was just, again, could be coincidence, could be little, drawing lines, but it happened the day after to what could be considered terrorist attacks. If they prove to be that, they could also be, the story could be 100% true. We don't know.
Well, the one was a helicopter that was like literally a military Black Hawk helicopter that crashed. I mean, that was, I think, and people want to bring DEI stuff into there. I don't know what to believe. It could have just been a freak accident. You know what I mean? It could have been.
Did you see
they were flying a typical flight path, but they were flying too high, and the other plane, the commercial plane, maybe just didn't see, or maybe thought that the air traffic controller was talking about do you see this other plane? It could have. I don't know. Tragedies do happen sometimes just by freak accident.
Did you happen to hear or read Trump's tweet on that particular thing?
Do tell.
Okay. I'll read it real quick because we're in deep. All right. All right. So he tweets twice on Truth Social. He says, the Black Hawk helicopter was flying too high by a lot. It was far above the 200-foot limit. That's not really too complicated to understand, is it? The airplane was on a perfect and routine line of approach to the airport. The helicopter was going straight at the airplane for an extended period of time. It is a clear night. The lights on the plane were blazing. Why didn't the helicopter go up or down or turn? Why didn't the control tower tell the helicopter what to do instead of asking if they saw the plane? This is bad. This is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Not good. Then he says we killed these guys.
But that wasn't that like a couple days later? I don't know.
Yeah. That one was on the 31st, and then he tweeted the other one on the 1st.
Today. Oh, the 1st.
Yep.
I can't keep track, man. Every day is a new,
Okay. So reeling it back in, I try to not focus on conspiracies because they're out of your control and they just get you all riled up.
Right. Then you don't know. There's a lot of, honestly, there's a lot of psyop, like conspiracy trolling that goes on too. There are like CIA operatives that like obfuscate the truth by just throwing in. There's a lot of gullible people. Sometimes those gullible people are me. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, that looks convincing. And then you find out later.
You were I got you. Yeah. I got you. Yep.
So who knows, man? Who knows? But I think just got to be optimistic, keep building the future that you want to see. And look, I think crypto is going to have a great next 4 years. Hopefully the president after Trump as well is also pro crypto. Here's another thing. Eric Trump, what did he just tweet? Eric Trump said it's a good time to buy Ethereum. Let me go get the actual tweet.
That's big. It's something that I was realizing the other day is, okay, so Bitcoin has had a bull run. I'm not going to say the bull run's over, but you can't not call it a bull run. It went bananas. Ethereum hasn't even gone back to its all-time high. Hasn't even it's gotten within like $1,000 of that. So what, like
Yeah,
15%?
80%.
Yeah, 80% exactly. Yeah, 80%. So yeah, all this FUD around Ethereum, all this bearishness around Ethereum, it's still at like 11,000x of its ICO price and sustaining. So it's like, is it dead? I don't know. I don't think so.
It's been depressing when you look at an 8-year bleed out relative to Bitcoin. But if you're just focused on that and not the future of it going up, then that's just a one-way ticket to making yourself depressed. I think it will go up. I think what you need to do is wait for the institutions to pack their bags. I do get worried that they'll co-opt Ethereum just like they've co-opted Bitcoin, where maybe they'll start trying to censor transactions or control all the choke points, right? Operation Choke Point. Luckily, PulseChain is still the freedom chain, still the last beacon of hope, whatever, shining city on the hill. But yeah, check out this tweet. Eric Trump. In my opinion, it's a great time to add ETH. Notice how he said add ETH. Now, he didn't say buy ETH.
Oh,
He's,
right.
you know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
people like Richard Hart, they watch their language very carefully because they know lawfare. They know anything you say can be weaponized against you. So it's a great time to add Ethereum. Yes. Thank you, Eric. Pump my bags, please.
You're right. They know exactly how to navigate the lawfare system, and they're not saying anything that they probably run all their tweets by a lawyer. Is this good? Yep. Ship
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what do you think about all the ETFs?
Just, is it good, bad? What do you mean
I guess in
exactly?
general, I mean, there's a lot of applications out there, right?
I mean, I think it's net positive. I can see some of the negative arguments for it, because now you start to kind of concentrate some entities' control over the asset, right? If enough people participate in that sort of thing. So I can see that being a negative, but it's probably price positive. Was for Bitcoin.
Price positive, right? Exactly. But exactly what you said. Control. There's slimy, centralized government tentacles. They're coming for Bitcoin. They're coming for Ethereum. You know what's weird is you look at, I saw a tweet the other day. The mempool in Bitcoin was empty for the first time in years.
Mm.
The mempool, for people that don't know, that's like the pending transactions essentially. That's not good. Bitcoin's at 100K. Bitcoin is 5x off of its all-time low, maybe 6x. And nobody's actually using the chain on chain. What the heck?
That's weird. I hear
What the
exactly
heck,
what
guys?
you're
It's
saying.
because now everybody's trading it in CeFi world. Everyone's trading it on Coinbase. It's not real Bitcoin anymore. Unless you're actually running a node or have Bitcoin in your whatever Electrum wallet, your seed phrase and everything. But an empty mempool, dude, nobody's using this. Like no one's sending it I mean, look, it's a store of value. Okay, maybe you can argue it shouldn't be used because it's a store of value. Sure, I get that. But if we want peer-to-peer digital money, I mean, I just worry that then that happens to Ethereum as well. Or they make some, DeFi is a good thing. Decentralized borrowing and lending. The fact that we can take out a zero interest loan. I was talking to the Up Token guys, and they were like, look, typically a zero interest loan, like these are products that are only available to the hyper wealthy. And now you can use these same strategies and it democratizes them. Something like liquid loans or whatever, Liquidity or DAI, Maker, all these stablecoin protocols. I do worry that might be, especially when you look at Europe, right? Look at MiCA, the European Regulatory Agency. They're delisting Tether. They're delisting DAI from European exchanges. Not good. What's the answer? Well, on PulseChain, we have 4. We already have 4 stablecoins on PulseChain that are native, that are asset backed or, backed by Old Glory Bank, I suppose. Money in an Old Glory Bank account, one of them. This is good. This is good insulation. But USDT was the top 2 stablecoin, man. They're basically saying USDC is the new central bank digital currency, which is like, we kind of already knew that. But I know you got PayPal, you've got some other competitors. I don't know. What do you think? How's that all going to play out?
I mean, I would argue that Circle USDC, you could argue kind of is a CBDC. I mean, they have all the controls that you would expect a CBDC to have. They're backed by the US dollar. They can blacklist any address. They can basically turn your money off, which is kind of terrifying. So, I mean, they do have cool incentives like no fees if you buy and sell it on Coinbase. So, they get you with what Richard might say pennies in front of freight trains. But
Mm.
yeah, it is weird that or concerning in a way that whole countries are delisting stable or not delisting but making it illegal, I guess, to transact with them. I do like asset backed stable coins like liquidity or forks of liquidity, right? Because it's all on chain, it's all the native coin, or I guess liquidity, but you have other ones like Hex
Burn.
DC and PXDC that are just, core asset backed. But that is DeFi. Now there's more risk there, but no matter what, there's always going to be some risk. Your risk is either Circle turning your money off or, the price of PulseX or PulseX not doing what you thought it was going to do. So it's like choose your risk. I don't think there's a risk-free system that exists. I mean, me personally, I try to not hold stables. I sometimes I do, sometimes I have to. Sometimes when I'm paying people, it makes sense to pay in stables because it's a clear peg to value, but stables have a lot of risk and they all have different risk. And I personally try to stay away from them as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, especially the centralized stables. I love DAI. But now you've got Maker just upgraded to what, Sky,
Yep.
and like they rebranded. I don't know if eventually they're gonna have to bend the knee as well. So luckily PulseChain, we keep innovating faster than deep state can get a stranglehold over it. And yeah, I mean, it is a freedom chain, right? People won't care until it's too late. Privacy software would be cool. Any plans for like privacy stuff in Internet Money?
Yeah, like dare I say Tornado Cash type stuff and like
Right.
yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, we've talked a lot about that and yes, it's on the roadmap. Though that comes with a whole other level of regulatory risk and just technical complications. So, I mean, there's things like what's the name, Railgun or Railway, and they do a lot of cool privacy stuff where you can send your transaction up into the privacy layer, or your assets up into the privacy layer, and then when you transact in there, it kind of gets lost. And then you can pull them down somewhere else. But the risk there is even though it's private and anonymous, you getting there isn't, which is how they were able to get Tornado Cash people because they couldn't see where the money went, but they could see you touch Tornado Cash. We know that because we know this is your wallet and we know that's Tornado Cash. So I don't even know if that problem has been solved yet of how to do privacy without first showing that, hey, I went to privacy or I came out of privacy, right? So that,
Yeah.
yes, we want to, but that is too weird of a regulatory space right now.
Right. I mean, luckily the ship is turning, even if the ship turns very slowly. But the Tornado Cash decision, I mean, it hasn't been. I think the guy's still in jail, but at least it's been overturned where the code was deemed to be, what was it? It was deemed to be property or something. I forgot the exact terminology, but Tornado Cash is one thing, and then you've got, I guess, lesser levels of privacy, like time-based privacy. The longer you leave it in, the more private it becomes. So you've got what's the privacy bridge that people use on PulseChain?
ZK.
No, not ZKZX. God, I'm blanking on it right now. There's a privacy bridge. Block Blend.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yep.
blockblend.io, which I like, or even Change Now is somewhat private. But if a government agency subpoenas Change Now and just says, "Hey, let's do some analysis on this transaction,"
yes,
right?
It's private to peering eyes, but not private to the big guys.
Exactly. And it's really unfortunate what the government did the last 4 years under Biden or whatever. It's after Tornado Cash got, then all the other cool innovators, basically Aztec, Incognito. I'm glad Railgun didn't stop building but a lot of these guys just stopped building and they shut their doors down, waiting for more regulatory clarity. Even privacy pools, which I'm really hoping gets out of beta on Ethereum, they haven't gone out of beta yet. I don't think it's because the thing doesn't work. I think it's because they're just waiting for
Right.
government clarity. But privacy pools is promising because you can basically verify, hey, I'm not on an OFAC list. I'm not on a government like my transactions are private, but I'm also not part of this, North Korean hacker group or whatever it might be. So privacy pools, please hurry up, or anybody else that wants to build some cool stuff like that, because that's another infinity stone that people don't talk about.
Absolutely. And I mean, yes, I agree. Privacy is a basic human right. And, people say cash is king. And to a degree, cash is kind of king in the way that it's like the most private form of currency because you could spin your cash and it's not really trackable. But we at Internet Money, we want to be innovators in that space. So small, I mean, I call it a small thing, but like we don't collect data. And so while that's not, directly private, it's private to us. And therefore we can't supply it to anybody else. Now if you're transacting on Ethereum, people are going to see that if it's connected to your centralized exchange, like we can't stop that at this time, but at least we've removed one layer of a data, vulnerability, I guess. So we want to keep innovating, but it's going to take time and support.
Yeah, guys, internetmoney.io. It's alien themed even. You've even got an alien shirt on. What's up with that?
Oh, dude. We were the first alien on PulseChain.
PTGC guys, how do they feel?
Well, look, no shade whatsoever at PTGC guys, but let the timeline show Internet Money was the first alien on PulseChain. And so, hey, look, I want my fellow alien races to succeed. So, and hey, shout out to the PTGC community that's been going off. I mean,
all of them, dude. The grays, the tall whites, the reptilians, the mantids. I'm not. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not xenophobic towards aliens.
Yeah, I see. See, we have within the Internet Money wallet, one feature we have for everybody listening is we preload as many PulseChain tokens as we're able to. So, the logos are there, price tracking for all PulseChain assets and 70 other chains actually. And we have what I thought was all of the PTGC ecosystem coins, but I've never heard of the whites. So if I'm missing any, please let me know.
Oh yeah, they're always making more. It's hard to keep track. X token, alien token, Enki. List goes on and on. It's just like
we have all those.
The real core was PTGC and UFO. So, good job for those guys. Yep. They pumped a lot.
Glad to see people making money. Let's go.
Right. And hopefully everything continues to pump in the next couple of days. And Internet Money is a cool wallet though, dude. It's you got NFTs on there, you've got swapping, cross chain, now you've got buying. What about a browser, like an in-app browser?
That is something big on the list. It's been big on the list, but other just priorities keep taking over, but it is very, very high on our list. So it's actually one of our most requested features. So we want that in-app browser as well as a DApp connection method. I won't go too deep into the weeds of the technicals, but like if you're using MetaMask or Rabby and you're used to connecting to a DApp that way, that's also on the list too. So we're going to leverage ourselves out of Wallet Connect, which works great, but it's just not what people are used to. So 2 high-level features on the roadmap for us. Yes.
Good stuff, man. Keep up the awesome work. What else is going on in the cryptoverse, man? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I did want to say real quick also, we did today just add the logo and preloaded the 3 new major pump tires tokens on PulseChain. So most, pump, and Trump logos preloaded in the Internet Money wallet. Don't even need to know the contract addresses. They're just there for you. And yeah, we do have token detection coming up soon as well, where you don't even have to import tokens anymore. So yeah, we've got a lot of really awesome things happening, going on. And it's, as crypto evolves, we're evolving with it. And
Love to hear that. It's always evolving, that's for sure. Never a dull moment.
never a dull moment. And that's the thing is we have plans, we're executing them, and then like, oh, hey, this thing happened in crypto because crypto never sleeps. So then we have to be responsive and reactive to that. And we do our best to do that as well.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we can wrap this up. Everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Help me help you pump all of our bags. Check out internetmoney.io. If you don't have a crypto wallet, look for MetaMask alternatives. MetaMask, I don't know. I don't trust that little fox. Not like I used to. So,
I appreciate your support. And if I love coming on stream, you giving us the opportunity to talk about the updates that we have, and just I'm glad we got to conspiracy. I'm glad we got to general crypto, and I think all those things are important to the overall picture. And Internet Money is available on Android, iOS, and Chrome, fully open source. We collect no data. Best place to swap on PulseChain and 6 other chains. Cross chain swap, 27 different chains. Pull out your debit card, buy crypto directly with your country's currency, NFT support, price tracking for all assets. I'm KG.
see you guys.